What are y'all thoughts on this? So this young lady right here, she's the daughter of the cop that overdosed on fentanyl a while back. So he was telling her about reptilians and working with the cartels and just different stuff, and she thought her dad was just crazy. Do y'all believe this? Like, do y'all believe it? Listen to what she says.
My dad told me about cops working with the cartel starting in April. Because my dad is mentally ill and was also talking about reptilians, I didn't really believe him. But he kept calling me. He told me he left the state of California because people are looking for him, and I just thought he was having like a schizophrenic breakdown. He's been gone. He told me he couldn't talk to me. He told me to just watch for the news and I would see what he was talking about. But basically, if you haven't known, my dad is the cop that overdosed on fentanyl in the police department gym and lost his job. And he lived in Riverside. He was a Riverside cop when he was younger, and then he started working for another department that is very close to Riverside that you could easily find on the internet, but I'm not going to say which department he worked for. Anyways, he told me that his department had someone working with a cartel and he's in deep shit because apparently he exposed it or something. I don't know. It's a lot, but I'm a little bit worried about my safety. A conversation April 14th with my dad, and he told me he wouldn't stop talking about how some cops are working with a cartel. I have that, and then on the news just a few days ago, this came out. Like I said, my dad lived in Riverside. He was a Riverside deputy at one point. His department is about 30 minutes from where this officer resided and lived. I don't know if it could be a coincidence. Literally, my dad on April 14th told me about this, that this was going to come out and to watch for the news. And I just thought he was just like so crazy because I've taken care of patients, like schizophrenic patients, and they always talk to me about the cartel. So it's not something that I haven't heard. But basically, I'm posting a public video because it might be overkill, but I'm a little bit worried about my own safety. Because I had rented out a guest house for my dad to be in California. And he fled, and the owner of said guest house was approached at their kid's school by an undercover car. He said it was an undercover cop car, and they were questioning him, looking for my dad. So, you know, I don't know who's looking for him. I don't know how many people are looking for him. If he needs to go back to jail, then, you know, I understand he's not following probation because he left. And I already talked to his probation and let them know, and they're aware that he left. You know, he's missed several probation appointments because he's running and hiding. But he also told me there was a hit on his entire family. So is that a paranoid delusion or is that true? So I'm just showing my face and letting people know what's going on because I'm a little bit worried about my safety. And I've never actually heard of cops working with the cartel before. So to see that article after what was said to me is pretty creepy. So yeah, here's my announcement that I'm kind of scared about myself.